Hey fam, so yesterday, right? Jumping right in. I made a whole video and I realized I deleted it. I was so annoyed. And I'm really just a spur of the moment person. Whatever's on my mind, it comes out of my heart and out of my mouth and it just flows. When I have to remember what I said, it's another story. Anyway, the topic was about people complaining about their past, right? Their past hurts constantly. So my brother and I were talking about that the other day, and it was amazing because we were like, when do you stop whining and complaining and bringing up old stuff? When do you move forward and stop focusing on what happened yesterday? Because yesterday is gone, right? You cannot rewind and do anything over again, but you have the opportunity right now, this very moment, right? While you're listening to me, to redo, to restart, to do different, to change habits, to come out of curses, right? And so we find that a lot of people are complaining about something somebody did to them long ago. And a lot of people complain that what happened to them long ago is stopping them from being successful. And I'm like, how can somebody have power? How do you allow somebody to have power over you to ruin the rest of your life? Even if in the beginning there were some hard times and rough times and things that you couldn't control because maybe you were young, how in the world will you become an adult and allow somebody to ruin your present and your future? How do you give somebody so much power and privilege to do something like that to you? And you're complaining about it all the time. And I'm not just talking about parental discrepancies or disagreements or whatever. I'm talking about sometimes people do things to hurt you. And you're so hard about it and you just won't let it go. And you're going to hold on to it and keep bringing it up. And when you see people, you bringing it up. You're mentioning it to them. People are bored with hearing the same old story over and over and over. You're just filling yourself with negativity. How can you function and move forward if all you're doing is thinking about what happened yesterday? Nobody has the power to stop you from having peace and happiness but you. You're in charge. You are steering the wheel of your life. And if you gave the wheel to somebody else, you're driving blindly, not knowing where you're going. Okay? So it's time for you to get in the driver's seat and drive your life in the direction that you wish to go into. And stop all this complaining and milking it. Oh, so-and-so did this. Holding grudges and being bitter because the only person you're hurting is yourself. Because guess what? The person that did the damage to you or whatever, they're moving on with their lives. They're going on with their lives and they're probably smiling and happy. And this is probably what's burning you up because you are not taking charge of your life to get in a place where you're saying, listen, this is what I got. This is the cards that I've been dealt. Let me play them and play them well and win the game of life because it's an option. You have options in life. My brother was like, shucks, the things we went through, if that's the case, we should be miserable right now. And I'm like, exactly. And we have not had the worst story as either. There are so many stories that's worse than yours and not taking from whatever happened to us personally. I'm not taking from that, not subtracting from that at all because trauma is trauma, right? But what you do going forward as a full-grown adult with the power to make choices and do things as you wish, the things that will make you happy and content, you're going to still keep looking back there. You walking backwards in life. Is that what we're doing now? We're walking backwards, not seeing where we're going because we're so busy focused on what happened back when. It's a boring thing to listen to hear somebody keep complaining about the same thing over and over and over. And also, think about the things that you do on a daily basis, all of us. Do you know we disappoint the Most High God, the creator of us all, on a daily basis? The things that we think are negative. And so we disappoint him. We fall short all the time. Who do we think we are that somebody can't do anything to us? And then if they do, we're so unforgiving and so hardened that we're going to keep bringing it up. Whether they ask for forgiveness or not. Sometimes people say, oh, I need somebody to ask me to forgive them so I can move on. No, you don't. You have to make up in your mind to forgive them anyway and release yourself from that. And stop struggling through your life. and making everything harder than it has to be. Life is rough enough. You have to learn to roll with the punches and punch back. Box back. You can't sit in a corner and curl up in a fetal position crying and complaining, oh, this happened to me, oh, that happened to me. All of that gets so old very quickly. And there's a lot of you who do this. Some of you feel like you should have some type of privilege or something. Like you feel like people should do certain things for you. And that's another thing. Nobody owes you anything, but you owe everything to yourself, and you owe everything to the God who made you, right? Because he's the one dishing out the blessings. Are you opening your hands to receive it? Or are you blocking them, dodging them out, and staying in a negative headspace? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's time to let whatever happened, let it go. Release it. It's gone. It's done. A new day right now. What you going to do with this new moment? What you going to do with this new moment, family? We are so blessed. And it's funny, as we were coming from the store, my niece and my daughter were in the car, and the lady was out there with her little bullhorn. She was saying, talking about God, how good God is, and how we don't count our blessings. And it's the truth. So busy worrying about the negative things that occurred, you're forgetting about the beautiful things that are going on in your life. I have 2 eyes. I can see. Somebody blind wish they had these eyes. I have a nose that I can smell the flowers, good smelling food. I can smell what stinks too. I have a mouth to speak with teeth in them. A couple of teeth might be missing, but okay, I got some. I can still chew. I have ears that I can hear with. I can utilize my fingers. I can utilize my legs, my arms. I am full, able-bodied. And I'm sure that all of you who are watching me, you are too. There are people who cannot walk. There are people who don't have limbs, fingers, toes, can't see, can't hear, can't function, can't do anything for themselves. But don't you know that some of those people are still happy? Do you know that these people have still found joy? When we are totally capable of changing our lives, we can change the trajectory of our lives at any given moment if we just wanted to and actually did the work. But we are complaining and staying stuck and holding hurt. How can you have a good life like that? How can you have a good life? Start counting your blessings. Get a piece of paper. I'm talking about running water from the sink. Do you know there are people in third world countries who do not have this opportunity? I'm talking about you can go to any McDonald's job and get a job. You know people in the world cannot find a job, nothing to sustain themselves and their families. We always want more than we can get at the moment. And if we don't get that, then we just do nothing. We complain and sulk and gripe about everything and everybody. But the person that you need to be upset with, go look in the mirror. You see that reflection there? Be upset with that person, because that person is in charge of your life. That person is in charge of your peace and your joy. You go get what you want. Go get what you want. Nobody is going to do that for you. Nobody owes you anything either. That's another thing. Nobody owes you anything. Stop looking for handouts. Stop looking for people to pacify and baby you. It's time to pull ourselves up by the bootstraps and do the work, whatever the work is. Your healing, your forgiveness, your success, your education, you're getting a better job, you're having better relationships with people, whatever it is that you need to help complete you and add to your joy, you have the power to attain it. Nobody wants to hear complaining and grumbling and griping. When people come to me and it be the same story and it's years later and it's like, hey, she complained about that before, or he complained about that the last time I saw him. It makes you wonder. You enjoy being stuck in a sad space? Because as you're feeding that, it's going to keep on growing. So when you start pouring positivity in, what you think is going to happen? You'll be amazed at even how people will treat you when you behave better. You will be amazed. You're going to attract positive people. You're going to open doors for yourself. That all those doors that you closed and locked and chained up and you sat behind that pain or that anger or that grudge, you sitting behind that, holding on to it, got it all boxed up in a neat little gift in the closet somewhere, and you sitting in there with it, being miserable, lonely and sad while the rest of the world is moving on. You're doing that to yourself. You're doing that to you. Treat yourself better. Don't worry about how people are acting. Treat yourself well and demand respect, and you will get it. You will. Command it, rather, because when you are respecting yourself and doing the right thing, you what I know. I don't make up nothing. Anything I share with you is because it's based on my life experiences. I'm telling you what I know. So it's time to get over it. Whatever it is, get over it. It happened. It wasn't good. It wasn't nice. He wasn't right. She wasn't nice. Somebody did something to me. I've had people do things to me. You think I'm going to sit around and hold on to that? Did they ask me for forgiveness? No, they did not. Did I forgive them? Heck yes. You know why? Because I did it for me. When you learn to love yourself, you won't be as needy from other people. I'm never going to say we don't need one another, because that's not the truth. That's not the truth. We do need one another. But you're not as needy when you learn to love yourself. You understand what it is that you need in your life, and you're fulfilling those things, and you're doing right by God. You're going to get a peace and joy that you're not even going to understand it, where it's coming from. You're going to be like, wow, this is a good space that I'm in right here. And anybody has the means to get there, to get in a better space. And you need to work on that. Stop running around, harboring ill will and ill feelings toward people and holding grudges and not liking people. And everybody has stuff. Even the people who did things to you, they have stuff too. It doesn't make it right. But if somebody is doing things that hurt somebody, they're hurt themselves. They're hurt themselves. You don't have to wallow in a pity place. Don't do that to yourself. Nobody wants to hear complaining. Nobody wants to hear it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's a time for venting and sharing, expressing yourself, because we know who to go to, who can help us and encourage us. But learn to encourage yourself. Get on your knees and talk to your Heavenly Father, who loves you most of all. Give it to Him. Pass on your baggage to Him. It's too heavy for you to carry and jog through life. So hand it over to Him and stop. Stop it. It's time to stop it. I love you, family. Peace, love, and blessings.